might need to
That's
make
what I
this
was telling her.
you might need to make this a condition of employment and put it in the employee guide.
I love it.
I don't think they have that choice.
If you just want to do a thank or anything else you want to say before I hit.
Yes. Getting all off track here with Jeremy.
Sorry.
Welcome to Backstage past Nicolet College. We're backstage today in a unique location, joined by Bingo the dog and Bambi the deer. And extra points to anybody who can comment on the page where they've seen Bambi or Bingo in any productions here at Nicolet College. Today we are joined by Jeremy VanCamp. Jeremy VanCamp is the Director of Human Resources and Title IX Coordinator. Jeremy, can you tell us what it is you do here at the college and how your behind-the-scenes work may impact students?
Okay. That's a fun question, and sometimes I struggle to answer it in terms of what I do here. People always associate human resources with, as they say, hiring and firing, and preferably we would do almost all the former and none of the latter. And so recruiting is obviously a big part of our role, and then benefits, taking care of all the myriad of things that we offer our employees. But my own role is also a more strategic one in terms of ensuring that we're delivering the best employee value proposition for our employees, and through that driving engagement with the recognition that nothing we do as an organization happens without our people. So the bottom line is just making sure that we're strategic and intentional about all of that stuff.
Okay. And with your role in human resources, I've learned this recently that human resources has taken an active role in trying to reach out to students and work with them in a career services role. Do you think you could explain that to us a little bit?
Yeah, this is a really fun topic. As a small college, we don't have all of the areas that you would traditionally have in a larger organization stood up as a separate department. And career services is one of those. And so it's bounced around the college over the years. And as we talked about how to do better with that, we recognize that we have a team of people on the campus that are experts in interviewing, in resume writing, cover letter writing, and all the hiring aspects. And so this is an attempt to organize ourselves for our students' benefit around some expertise we have at the college. And so the bottom line is we recently accepted that work, and we're working on a plan and communications, and the efforts will be really to engage with students to support them through all the skills they need to do those things well. And then probably a phase B will be to start to think through the employer aspect of that and how we'll organize employers to connect them with students and engage employers with students.
That's a really wonderful thing. What an amazing tool to offer to students here at the college, and especially from, the educated professionals that work in that field every day. To connect those dots is really unique. What other roles do you have here at the college that are more unique or have become you?
Okay. Well, another thing that I do have that's part of my formal responsibilities and even my title is the Title IX coordinator role. And that's really unusual. I don't know if there's another college in our system for sure that has the HR leader doing that role also. But again, we're small, right? And so the Title IX role is all about making sure that we have equal access and do right by a myriad of things around like sexual discrimination, and also to ensure that people are protected and taken care of when it comes to sexual assault and that kind of stuff. And so Title IX is a very legal responsibility. There's a very formal policy that we administer, and I facilitate, shepherd, and guide anything that might end up in Title IX through that process to make sure we're doing the best that we can by students and employees both.
It sounds like a very unique role and very interesting at the same time. Has it taken you in positive avenues that maybe you wouldn't have expected when you first started it?
I don't know about positive. I mean, I would say the positive part of it is that I've learned a lot about higher ed through it. And unfortunately, Title IX is a little bit of a political football. And so different administrations adjust the implementation of it. And so we're on our third Title IX policy since I've been here in 2.5 years. So I've had a lot of opportunity to work on policy development and learn a lot.
Okay. On a less serious note, so on campus, do you have a go-to location or a spot that you like to decompress, after a long meeting, or if you just wanted to get out of the building?
I love Lakeside.
Lakeside?
Yeah, I like the first and second floor a lot. And often I meet community people here if I'm making community connections, and I always buy them coffee because it's super cheap. It's like $1 something a cup,
And it's good
And I
coffee.
love coffee, and it's good coffee. I just love the environment and the aesthetic. I love the lake over here, and I love the second floor with the canoe hanging from the ceiling, and kind of feels Northwoods cabin-y.
Do you get a lot of individuals that you meet with that have never been here before?
Yeah, I had one this morning.
Really?
Yeah, so it was interesting. I met with a Goodwill employee whose work heavily intersects with career services. She runs a team of people that are actually located in the hospital. They're not in the Goodwill building. And it's kind of a career navigator program where they get grants that help fund the program, and they help people kind of work through career stuff and finding jobs.
That's really cool.
Yeah, from Goodwill.
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk?
What was their reaction when they got here?
So she'd been on campus. Had been at up on the Northwoods building a number of times for the art studio. But I gave her a full tour, all 3 floors, library, and then we went and talked to Lisa Young because her work and Lisa's overlap a lot. And I think she was way impressed and a little bit surprised when I told her, "Hey, this is a public building.
Really?
You work from home. You could come here and hang out." She was, "Really? I don't have to pay for that?"
Yeah, no, we love having
I know.
people from the community and alumni come back just to hang out.
Yeah, so she's a little in shock at that we're open to that, and I hope I see her here on campus once in a while.
All right, so let's shift away from campus. What does Jeremy like to do when you're not here? What are some of your passions or hobbies?
Well, I've got a fun one, Jacob, because I'm leaving tomorrow morning for a motorcycle trip with my son. So that my bike is in the garage, loaded up and ready to go. Of course, he was texting me as I walked over here, asking about lubing his chain and doing the wrong thing. But that's probably my favorite hobby, specifically if I can do it with him or with some of my other core friends. And what we do is we camp off the bikes and we go as much off-road as we can. So we're leaving for the UP, and we're going to do as much of the UP Adventure Trail in a 4-day period as we can. Last year we did the full Wyoming backcountry discovery route. It's 1,000 miles of off-road, and then we did about a 300-mile connector back to the beginning.
That's incredible. And how many people do this?
So we had 4 people on that trip. It was my son and the old guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but guys my age and him.
Sure.
But we'll get as many as we can. I have a group of about seven or so right here in the Rhinelander area that enjoy doing this, and so we just send out texts and get as many as we can.
Heck yeah. So you think you'll have a pretty good group?
This week we only have 3 on this group.
Just 3?
Yeah, unfortunately.
What's the weather supposed to be like?
Awesome. Yeah.
It'll be fine then, right?
Yeah. 75 to 79 for highs and 50s for lows. Like perfect motorcycling, perfect camping, no rain.
Do you guys fish at all when you get out there like that?
We have these little rods, but we typically don't bring them with. I mean, we have very minimal gear and try to keep things as light as possible since we're off-road. Plus, we're in the UP, and I don't want to buy a license. So,
Yeah, the out-of-state fees.
yeah.
So, what has been the most influential event or person in your career? Anybody that, that you would want to give a shout out to, or that had a really strong impact that you feel shaped the direction you went?
Okay. Yeah, there's one that stands out for me in spades, and it's not somebody I've worked with for a long time. It was my first leader right out of college. I started as an environmental health and safety engineer. I went to school at UW-Platteville and got a job at Rayovac, the battery manufacturer, which is nearby. I interned with them and then started working right after the internship. His name is Jim Packmeyer, and he's become a lifelong friend. We don't talk all the time, but we connect every year or two, and he's followed my career. And Jim did me, I'm sure he would never admit it, and probably would be embarrassed at the recognition, but he was really hard on me in some ways, particularly on my writing. I thought I was a good writer, but boy, Jim could really doctor up. He would always print things out. He was old school, and he would take a red pen, and he would just annotate and red line and cross things out and give it back to me until he was happy with it. But more than that, he always took opportunities to model things for me and taught me a lot about working with people. And he was a Youper, which is kind of fun. This was Southern Wisconsin. His career has taken him all over the place since then. He recently retired. But yeah, he was a mentor to me, not just a supervisor, and somebody that I really look up to.
That's wonderful. It's amazing that you had the opportunity for that growth and to meet that individual in your life. Is there any message, or let me rephrase that. If you could wave a magic wand and give every student one talent or one talent, let's go with talent, what would you say?
Well, that's a pretty deep question for an off-the-cuff thing.
Yeah, it is.
The one thing I would say is just to be open-minded about your career and to seek service of your organization. I mean, I'll freely admit I've had a wonderful career. I have a lot of great opportunities, but those have happened because I was more concerned about the organization and not myself. And so I think that kind of selfless service is also good for you because you succeed. But I think just to open your eyes and look beyond yourself, look at the bigger organization.
It was a really deep answer.
Well, it's the best you're going to get in a quick one. I've seen you do that.
We'll do
Not the deep answer.
a pivot to a little rapid fire, and we'll wrap this thing up.
Pick on me, huh?
So, Jeremy, if you had to spend a weekend stranded on a tropical island or stranded in a cabin in the woods, but it's the middle of winter?
Oh, the tropical island. I would rather be in a cabin in the woods, but I don't like winter at all. That's easy.
The caveat, gotcha.
Yeah.
How about tea or coffee?
Oh, coffee. That's also a no-brainer. Black.
Pie or cake?
Pie. No problem.
Pie.
Yeah.
Favorite flavor?
My mom's cherry. Tart cherry, fresh from the trees in their backyard.
Man.
Oh, I know. So good. The pits are a little rough, but other than that, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah. I should try and remember to bring you back a piece. You would love that.
You know, I don't think I've ever said no to a piece of pie in my life.
Yeah.
Well, before we end, you got to pick the next guest here, and Jeremy has selected this lovely hat.
Yes. Who says Northwoods like fur and buffalo plaid? We have Al Jaworowski.
Al Jaworowski, the Vice President of Innovation. I just want to really thank you, Jeremy, for coming and sitting down with us. Like, truly, as a student myself, you've had a really tremendous impact on my life and in my short time here at the college. So it was really a pleasure to have the opportunity to sit down and do this with you today. So,
Well, thank you, Jacob. It was fun.